Yes, sir.
My question, I want to turn to manufacturing. You talked a little about it earlier, but we've seen a slow, continual decline in the U.S. automobile industry over a number of years, and the government has tried to help it by having voluntary import restraints during the Reagan Administration, and also has repealed the CAFE standards, the standards for average minimum fleet.
Right.
None of that really has worked. What do you suggest the government do? And does the government have a role now in trying to revive the automobile industry?
Well, you know, with all due respect, and I have a great history and a great tradition, but the automobile industry needs to wake up, in a sense, and start leading in a way. I mean, a lot of this is problems were self-created. Some of it clearly we've contributed to by not moving on certain things, like healthcare. The healthcare cost per car of a General Motors product is $1,500 an automobile. In a Toyota, it's $150, the healthcare cost, because they've dealt with healthcare issues far more efficiently and aggressively than certainly we have. But the idea of missing the boat on producing automobiles, not anticipating the kind of cost that could accumulate with rising gasoline prices, for instance, losing that market because they just guessed wrong or didn't think hard enough about where the future was heading, were self-inflicted. Now, the idea of the government coming in and bailing them all out isn't going to happen in my view. But I think there's a real opportunity, not all is lost here, to get back and get leaner, get more efficient, and start producing automobiles again and marketing them in a way that contribute to the energy issues we talked about here, as well as appealing to consumer tastes and the like. Toyota, there's not something miraculous they've done. They've just been smarter about this, and they're getting larger and larger market shares because they've done that better than we have over the recent past history. So that has to be, I think, a part of it, not sort of going around and suggesting some major government enterprise that's going to come here and make a difference, except in the areas where I think we've contributed to the rising cost. And the CAFE standards, again, look, I'm sympathetic to the period of time necessary to make the transition. But you know, this idea of the pace we're talking about here is just unacceptable. The idea, you cannot convince the American public that the technology doesn't exist for them to produce a propulsion system. I mean, you imagine if the airplane, the aviation industry, or even the train industry had been relying in the 21st century on the existing technology when it was produced in the 19th century, the early part of the 20th century. We're still talking about an internal combustion engine. And here it is in 2007. Where's the innovation and creativity? It's all been in style, not in systems that allow for greater efficiency. So we've got to do a better job here at home, in my view, and then talking about the barriers that have existed for us to be able to market in these other countries in order for our market to grow, not lose market share.